Now, this is a beautiful video once again, which is elaborating the same thing as we have been discussing till now. How can we use simple past and continuous past together? Look at this, please.
Past continuous. When I was having my lunch, my boss called.
Right? If we look at the video once again.
What were they doing yesterday at Past continuous. When I was having my lunch,
Past continuous tense, and the second.
my boss called.
So the combination of two. One more example. Look at the structure.
When I was having my lunch, my boss called.
Second example.
When I was taking pictures,
Continuous past tense.
I met my friend.
Simple past tense.
When I was taking pictures, I met my friend. When Lena was working, I asked her to make some copies. When Lena was working, I asked her to make some copies. So, what's that? We form the past continuous with the past form of the verb to be, was or were, plus
Structure.
the ing form of the main verb. We use it for exact past time action,
So this was exact past time action. For that also we use this.
interrupted action,
When I was taking pictures. Good. When Lena was working, I asked her to make some copies. That was interruption.
background action,
These are the background actions.
two or more parallel actions.
So people were watching while actors were playing. At that time also we use continuous past tense. Now let us do a small exercise.
What were they doing yesterday at 5 p.m.?
What were they doing? She was having coffee, she was writing, she was listening to the music. So that was happening at that time. Second example. Quite an enthusiastic boy. What were they doing yesterday at 5 p.m.? They were giving a concert. He was playing the guitar. He was performing on stage. This could be the answers.
So we're going to go ahead and get these going. And what I'm going to do in the skillet, I'm just going to brown them, get them brown a little bit. We're going to finish them in a hot oven about 400 degrees. And it's going to finish.
What was she doing yesterday at 5 p.m.? She was cooking salmon. She was explaining how to cook salmon. She was putting salmon into a frying pan. So, Dr. Bharat, please continue.
Well, good. Again, a very interesting video. And one important thing that we have seen here is, even only in the context, the things becomes more clear.
Exactly.
Some of the rules are there of the grammar that say that we have to use past tense with this, that. But sometimes when we see in the context, we find that beyond some of the rules, something is very well used or expressed in communication. Say, for example, when we speak, the time clause is used with the simple tense when we are expressing something in the past continuous tense. Here we have seen an example where when, which denotes the time clause, is used with past continuous tense and not with the simple past tense.
Exactly.
Similarly, there was a very good example where both the past continuous tense were used. We were watching the players and the actors were performing.
Exactly.
So this is how it can be used in a context. We cannot define the language under the rules of some of the grammar things. It can go beyond that also. So
Obviously.
again, a very wonderful video regarding those things.
So if you are familiar and if you are a master of the structure of the sentences, you know you rarely commit such mistakes. Okay, and it gives you a little flow. Okay, isn't it? So now we'll talk about the past perfect tense, and this is also in our menu today. So look at the slide once again, please. The time is running short. Past perfect tense. Understand the definition very carefully. This is not as confusing as we talked about present perfect tense. There we used have or has. Here we have to use had in the structure. But before that, look at the definition. When we are talking about the past, we sometimes want to refer back to an earlier past time. So two events have happened or has happened or had happened, sorry. So earlier past is 10 a.m., 11 a.m. that is past, and 2 p.m. is present. So if we talk about something which has happened at 11, it is simple past tense we can say. But if something had happened earlier to that, that is at 10 a.m. So for that we use past perfect tense.
When I called Sneha, she had gone out. As the figure suggested, 11 o'clock is the past time and 10 a.m. is the earlier past. We are talking in the present time. So when I called Sneha at 11 a.m., she had already left at 10 o'clock. To make it more simple, we can say that two actions are happening. One action has happened earlier, the second action also had happened in the past. So for the earlier action, we used had plus the past participle form
of the verb,
and then for the past tense, and that makes the past perfect tense.
Exactly.
Few more examples we can see on the slide. We arrived at the theater at 8 p.m. but the film had started at 7:30 p.m. When I spoke to the woman, I realized that I had met her before. He went to his friend's house, but the friend had left an hour ago.
Beautiful examples. We talked about past to past is perfect past, right? So this video again describes the same thing. Look at this.
We're going to talk a little bit about the past perfect verb tense. One thing to keep an eye on here, right? We have the word perfect showing up, which tells us that the tense is going to be focused on 2 points, doesn't really matter where they are in time, and then the fact that this one occurred and was completed before this one. So, we wanted to draw
There's
our
a timeline?
amazing time map here. This is now, this is the future, this is the past. This is what the past perfect looks like, right? This action is completed before this action. So,
Tom had studied chapter 1 before he studied chapter 2.
okay, Tom had studied chapter 1 before he studied chapter 2. Here's chapter 1, right? Here's
Earlier
chapter
past.
2. This one happened and was done before this one, right? So when we're talking about these, you're always going to see, not always, but you will often see words like already,
Such words are used here.
right?
Already.
Words like already sort of emphasize the separation between these two things, that this one happened before this one happened. He reads chapter 1 before he reads chapter 2.
So let us look at the structure. Structure, subject plus head. Okay, we don't have option here. Head is the helping verb here, plus verb, but we have to use the past participle here, third form of the verb, plus object. Use of the past perfect tense, look at the examples. Present perfect and past perfect. Okay, I haven't rested all day today, so I'm very tired now. I hadn't rested all day yesterday, so I was very tired last night. Now, if you look at the slide, we can also define it this way, that we use the past perfect continuous tense to talk about something which had been in progress up to the specific past time that we are referring to. So this is the difference between past perfect tense and past perfect continuous tense. This is the last tense we are supposed to talk today on and about. The example is, they had been studying for an hour when suddenly the electric supply was cut off. So it was happening during that particular duration of the time, you know. So see the example once again. They had been studying. So study was happening at that particular duration of an hour when suddenly the electric supply was cut off. Structure, subject plus had been plus verb plus ing plus object.
Usage of past perfect continuous tense. I would also like to draw one attention here is that this is a structure which is very, very rarely used in day-to-day communication.
Exactly.
We find it in written communication when we are writing about something, but normally people don't
Orally
use,
we don't use it.
This kind of very complex structures.
Exactly.
Let us see the slide. The past perfect continuous is the past form of the present perfect continuous tense. Let us see the examples. Present perfect continuous. I have been working all day, so I am very tired now. In the past perfect continuous, we say, I had been working hard all day yesterday, so I was very tired last night.
So this is the last video we are going to observe, and in this you will very clearly see exactly what we wanted to convey to you, that for a particular duration of time which had happened earlier, but you want to show the continuous progressive part of that particular action is described in this video. Look at this.
Simple form. But what about the past perfect continuous? Well, we can see now that the past perfect continuous is used to talk about the action and its duration before another action or point in the past. For example, they had been talking for 2 hours when the boss arrived. Or I had been studying German for a year before I moved to Berlin. Or the final example, it had been raining, there were puddles everywhere. We often use the past perfect continuous in preference to the past perfect simple to talk about the duration of the action and to show that the action happened just up to the point in the past simple time or action. So just before this past simple action occurred, we were doing something else. Okay.
Well, dear friends, to end this class, I feel that you would have been able to enhance your lessons on verbs and specifically on the past tense with the help of these beautiful video resources. I would say that Mr. H.I. Sarvaiya has worked a lot, giving lot of time on internet in searching these beautiful videos, editing them and presenting before you. At the end, I would just like to say that be careful about usage of verbs, and verbs will take care of your English and your career.
Because
thank you, dear friends.
Even in the sentence structures also, you know, if you are not acquainted with the different usages of verbs, it would always make you hesitate while you speak. So once you master the verbs, it would, I mean, no doubt it would surely improve your vocabulary.
Verb is the soul.
Verb is the soul of the sentence, exactly. So look at the last slide. And in this slide, I'm insisting to you to give your feedback. And I hope you are familiar with this email ID, which is written there, sandhan_bicig@googlegroups.com. Friends, you can write your feedback, whether you like the lectures, what changes you would like, how many modifications are required from your side. That would help us to help you. So better you write mails and encourage others to watch BICEG TV lecture series as well. Note down the email ID once again, please. sandhan_bicig@googlegroups.com. Thank you, Dr. Bharat, and thank you all the students for listening to us. Thank you all.